Welcome to Quack & Co., the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed. I'm Quack.
And I'm Dale.
Oh, we've been through this, Dale.
You don't have a teleprompter. I'm never going to get this right.
I'm Quack.
I'm Dale.
We're covering Unfathomable by Fantasy Flight Games today. This is a first impression video. We just sat down and did a full 3.5 hour long gameplay and a 40-minute review comparing Battlestar and Unfathomable to each other. And if you're watching this, the odds are you're just here for the highs, the lows, the nitpick, the first impressions, and those videos don't fit on this channel. Not at all. Dale, you drove down here to visit us for a few days, specifically to teach us both of these games, and we just got finished with Unfathomable. You've played this a few times.
Yes.
But it's been a while since you've played it?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's one of those games that's 3 to 6 players, and it's best at 4 or more, in my opinion. So sometimes getting that group together at the right time is the thing.
And I just played for the very first time ever. So with context, we were playing 4 players. We played on camera, which is always a little bit of a caveat, and we played immediately after finishing a full gameplay with the same group of Battlestar Galactica. So keep all that in mind as we break this down. Dale, do you want to set up the premise of what Unfathomable is? Like, what are the basic actions? What are we doing? How's the game function?
Basically, it's a team game where some people are going to be humans, the other team is going to be hybrids or occultists. And the caveat here is you don't know what the other people's team they are on.
Yep.
Just know yourself, and that might change later. So the humans trying to get this boat to Boston without running out of food, fuel, people, and sanity. And we'll make sure don't get overrun by monsters. And that's pretty much it. So it's a survival game, team-based.
Yeah, the core structure of the game is going to progress with one player activating, utilizing or drawing up their hand of power cards, which we have down here that are unique to every character that you have, along with some special abilities and asymmetric player abilities and powers. Then you're going to be taking usually 2 actions, moving around the boat, utilizing a specific location, searching for items or healing someone, or making the ship go a little bit faster by dumping more coal into the engine. Then after you've utilized your 2 actions, either from your cards or from the boat itself or movement, whatever it is, you're then going to be drawing and resolving one of these questionable cards. These cards are going to be consequences.
Yeah, pretty much. It's either something bad's going to happen or something worse is going to happen.
They're painful decision points throughout the course of play. The way these cards function is you draw one up and it has a this or that. Sometimes it's a choice that one player has to make, like the captain or the sailor, but then other times it's a quest that someone has to choose to resolve. And the way that you resolve them is by contributing these cards that are powerful abilities, actions, and other modifiers. And these are limited resources, meaning that if you decide to add in extra to get a successful resolution where you're trying to score a certain number of cards here, if you try to add in a lot on one, you may have less to add in at other stages of the game, and you'll have 3 or 4 different activations before you get to draw these cards back up.
Yeah, so there's always that choice of, is this important enough to put all these good cards in? Is that guy going to help like he said he was? And can I trust the other people at the table?
Now, the other core of this game is that this is a hidden trader game, so different people have different objectives that they're working for. The humans, the normal people in the game, are trying to...
Yeah, just get the ship to Boston. So you're trying to get 12 waypoints or movement in this, and then once you do that, you want to advance your ship one more time. So certain cards in that deck is going to advance our boat. We get to a certain point, we're going to see how far we actually went. Was the boat going fast, or were we just barely getting through the water? And then once we get to 12, we need to move one more time there, and humans will win if they make it there without, well, something terrible happening.
And then the cult is doing its best to, well, thwart these plans. The cultists themselves want to make it to the round 12, or the 12 on the boat, and then have everything come to a screeching halt. Then the other team, which is the abomination, or the person that's transforming into these lizard-like creatures, the hybrid, that person's doing its best to make the ship run out of steam, fuel, food, energy, any number combination of things. Now, how does that actually work in the game? Well, there's a lot of different areas that you can twist, turn, and bluff. You could play cards that are bad and choose the worst option without anyone knowing which option you had to choose between. You could go searching for items or be insufficient with your utilization. You could also, when contributing to quests that always have consequences, add in cards that are negative. Any modifier from orange, purple, green, red, and blue that is not requested on the card works as a negative, meaning if I put in a purple to a blue quest, I am now making people have to pay more or potentially driving fail condition for that quest. People won't know who contributed, you shuffle them all up, and you add in randomizer cards to always have a little bit of luck and a little bit of mystery left in the game. And overall, it does a really good job at giving a lot of agency to the players who aren't in the, well, human seat, the players that are trying to work against the rest of the board, for them to subvert expectations and kind of work around the edges or behind the scenes. So that's an overview of Unfathomable. It is inspired by or a re-implementation of Battlestar Galactica. We're also going to be talking about Battlestar in another video here on Quack & Co., so make sure you subscribe and stick around for us. With that being said, let's talk about first impressions. Like, what's your overall takeaway from this game experience?
First impressions is always something like a hidden mechanic is you want to make sure the people playing are okay with fibbing or lying to other people or being lied to themselves.
Yeah.
And this game, more particular, a lot of those hidden mechanics or hidden trader games are quicker games that can get done in 15, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you're going to need at least 2 hours probably. So the first time playing this is difficult trying to get that set up because there's some nuances. You try to do the best you can with the rules getting started, but then you're sitting there with a certain card and it's like, I really need to ask a question. But if I do, that's going to give away my objectives. So.
Yeah, that's the hard part on here. From my play experience so far, I think the game, in my limited experience, I think the game runs a touch longer than I want it to. And I know it probably doesn't always escalate like that, but sometimes it will run longer than we just played.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hitting on the edge of, I've seen everything come out, I'm ready for some action to happen, I'm ready for it to escalate into victory or escalate into defeat. And I do feel like Unfathomable felt really brutal. From the get-go, I felt like we were going to lose, and it happened to be that we could keep control of the chaos fairly well, but we had to work together. We had to, like, balance the scales, and it took all of us kind of working towards that shared condition in order to do it. I think it works really well as, like, a cooperative pandemic-style puzzle with a really excellent hidden trader mechanic in it. Someone is sitting around the edges. I wasn't a trader in our gameplay, and for me, it was still interesting to play as the human because it was fun to like try to figure out who I should and shouldn't trust, who should I invest in, who should I give benefits to, and who is just frustrating me to no end.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have a choice because I was human also, and I'm sitting there. I know I look evil, but there was nothing I could do about it. So, I mean, that's the neat thing about the game. I'm doing the best I can. We're on the same team, but he's sitting over there going,
idea.
There's no way Dale's on my team.
He looked so evil.
Yes.
I think it would take 3 to 5 games of this for me to start becoming disgruntled that I'm not the traitor. Like, if I got human 3 games in a row, I think at the 4th game, I would start being like, come on, I'm gonna like... I'm going to secretly cycle the deck just to make sure that I get the card that I want type of thing. You know, like I'm hosting the game night. I get to be the traitor type of rule. But I think it could survive for a while, whereas there's a lot of those games, Blood on the Clock Tower would be an example, Werewolf would be an example, where like if you're not actively engaged in the gameplay and in the hidden part of it, it just isn't quite as fun. One of the other things that I really like about Unfathomable so far is the asymmetric player powers and the different item cards and gear cards. It gives you a lot of control over like things like dice mitigation or changing cards or being able to cycle stuff. Overall, that's like my initial thoughts here. Anything that I haven't touched on?
No, I think you hit it the best with the item cards. They really give you chances to do other things and make more important plays. So.
Cool. Well, there you have it. There's first impressions of Unfathomable. Remember, the rule is less time watching is more time playing, and we'll see you on the next video.